Okay, looks like I'm officially live. Hopefully my audio's coming through okay. If you can't hear anything, let me know in the chat if I'm coming through too loud or too quiet. It's always a bit of trial and error to get things working. So yeah, I've just built this today, so it's not the finished product yet. But here is the uh, main menu screen. Kind of reused some code from the Dorothy software replica that I made quite a while back. Just gonna hit reset progress here. Um, had some test data stored in the background. So what I'm going to be doing today is play testing the game. So uh, there might be a bit of noticing there's a problem, jumping back to the Unity editor, fixing the problem, and then rebuilding the game. Now I've already done the long build process, so if there's any small changes, it should be relatively quick to rebuild. But hopefully and ideally, this will just be a case of me playing the game for an hour or so, and hopefully no issues. So I'm going to click start. I haven't got any fancy loading screens or anything yet. Um, what I could do is have this be the loading screen, and as the closer you get to loading, the more the funnel fills up. Okay, so you start the game. A lot's changed since the last stream. I've done a lot of optimization, and I've added a lot of features. So you start with a basic truck. You might recognize the truck. I've removed the branding, but if you can figure it out, then I guess that's not my fault. We've got a probe in the back. Instead of using a probe based on a 1996 movie, I've based it on the real life um, Toto instrument package. So uh, you can deploy this and put it back into the bed of the truck. And you start with it. It's got a max speed of 50 miles an hour, and I'll show this here on the computer screen. So you start with a max speed of 60 miles an hour, or sorry, 50 miles an hour with a weak engine. Uh, the car or the truck weighs a ton, and so it's easily pushed about in the wind. Your probe only takes 50 samples at one sample per second. Your radar refreshes once every 10 seconds. It's pixelated, so each sample of the radar is 18 pixels wide, so it doesn't give you much information, and it can only scan for 2 kilometers around you. And it takes 15 seconds to deploy the probe. And if you exceed 100 miles an hour, your contract is cancelled. So what we'll do, first thing we'll do is choose a contract. So um, looking at the ones here, it doesn't look like there's any really good ones. The only 50 sample contract is for an F4, and that's going to be quite difficult. So what I'm going to do is these change every minute. So I'm just going to come out of there and take a look at the radar screen. And if it's looking pixelated, that's intentional. I've got a great asset which lets you apply VHS and CRT effects. So you can see this is the range here. It's 2 kilometers as of right now, so not really wide, but it looks like in the bottom right corner. So there's some cell popping up behind us. So I think what we need to do is uh, flip a UE and turn left. If having a compass would probably be quite useful. So what I'm going to do is turn around and hope I'm heading the right direction. You'll notice the frame rate, and Robert telling even Sam that reminds me of CFAX. Let me just Google what that is. I've heard of that term, but I'm not familiar with it. So I'm just going to Google this while I drive with one hand. Oh, I see what you mean. The BBC CFAX, the old teletext. Yeah, that's exactly what it's based on, actually. To use that exact screenshot when I was making the design. So yeah, it's a. I've just realised, is there any game sound coming through? I don't think we're getting any sound. Um, Let me just pause this 1 second and figure out what is going on. Is this a Streamlabs issue? Or for some reason my game does not have sound? Right, let's free up my mouse. So maybe it was along here and to the left. So I've got a max wind speed of 100 miles an hour, and that reading in the bottom left corner you need to pay attention to, and it'll change colour from white to yellow to orange to red, meaning you're about to have your contract cancelled. Because I decided having health and safety to be a game mechanic would make things really interesting. Sounds ridiculous when I say it like that, but it adds just an extra element of challenge to the game. Right there. Let me just check my actual desktop and volume mixer. What's my targeting? Headphones. Headphones or headset? Let's just check I'm heading in the right direction. It looks like it's not updating its position as to where I am. That's not ideal. So that's a small bug I need to fix. So um, I've got a notepad here. I'm just gonna make a list of fix radar position. So I'm just gonna this by ear. Oh, it's behind us. There it is. You can see the funnel over there. So let's get in front of it. If there's no sound coming through, I'm not sure if that's just my headset or if it's a problem with the game or the stream. Let me know and I'll try and fix it. Let's select a mission though. Something with 50 samples. An F1 with 100 samples in 30 minutes. Let's do that one. So we can try and get 2 intercepts. So there it is on the right. I think there's a right turn coming up just over here. Double check I didn't disable the audio source in the build. So where is my Unity? So car camera, and it's got an audio listener. The other issue might be with the radar controller script. So I was checking something under the screen here. Don't know why that's not updated. Okay, let's get this tornado. Still not sure why there's no audio coming through though. Yeah, I haven't had the best of luck with these live streams. There's always been some issue with each one. So there's a tornado over there on the left. Let me try and get in front of it. I've also got a VHS camera, so I can enable that mode as well. Get more of the nostalgic look and feel. Is it roping out? I think the tornado it's roping out. So I think what I'll do is I'll stop here and wait for another one to spawn. And while waiting for that, let me figure out what's going on with my audio. Okay, well what I'm going to do is put these away. So I was using the Bluetooth headset for this, and that seems to always cause me issue with the sound. So let me. Okay, hopefully I'm coming through all right now, and hopefully desktop audio is as well. Looks like it is now. Okay, that's 2 problems fixed. Why the location for the radar screen isn't updating, I'm still not quite sure.
let's say I need to wait about 10, was it 10 or 15 seconds? Oh no, it is updating. So I think we just have to wait and see if we can see anything. Let's try and get a better vantage point. So the tornadoes do spawn randomly, and I've set it so that they spawn in the middle 2/3 or so of the map. I've just realised the raindrop effects aren't working on the windscreen. I must be missing a shader included somewhere. Quite the demo those, it's no biggie. Possibly something for the next stream. Let's find the tornado. So wind speed 2 miles an hour, so keep an eye on the wind speed. If it's increasing, then it means we're getting so much closer. 26 minutes left, and we need to. So the probe currently, because it's basic, can only take 50 samples. So we need to get 2 good intercepts to complete this mission. So let's have a look. So at the beginning, it's really difficult because the equipment doesn't help you too much. It's radar range that far. Your car's not quick enough to intercept well, and right now it's not up anything, so I reckon I turn left because there's more likely to be something to our left. But we'll keep an eye on that wind speed because that gives you clues as to which way the tornado might be. Windows have replaced the engine sound as well. The default one was really high pitched and whiny, so I took a royalty-free sample of a V8 engine. And then it's actually quite difficult to loop engine sounds because there's actually lots of different pitches and tones. So if the slightest thing is off, you can tell that it's looping. So I've done noticeable. With it being lower pitched, it's less noticeable as well. Okay, let's wait for this radar screen to update. There's rain, which means we're getting somewhere near a supercell. Still need to head along here then. Nothing to our right. To our left, nothing behind us. And if at any point anyone wants me to enable the VHS effects, just say in the chat. This reminds me of my old tornado videos I used to watch when I was like 6 or 7. Record them off the telly. For those who don't know, this is actually Twister Hill. This is the real life location which I've loaded in. Driving down the hill right now. In the movie, they come from some place over there and turn left and head up the hill that way, and the tornado's at the top of the hill. So there's a small chance that you can recreate one of the scenes from Twister, just through the pure randomness of how the game works. So let's see if we can complete a mission and upgrade some equipment. I think the first thing I'm going to upgrade is the max car speed because going 50 miles an hour everywhere is quite tedious. Yeah, we're getting near anything. Still nothing showing on radar. Starting to get towards night time as well, which makes things more difficult. What I've noticed is the colour of the trees, the landscape isn't quite right. I believe that's something to do with the fog effect, so I'm just going to add that to my to-fix list to remove fog, because it does have an impact on performance, and it's actually making things look worse as well. Hoping we can just catch a glimpse of the tornado because at sunset it looks really nice. Turn the car lights on as well if we need to. This will get more difficult as well when you have to warn towns and cities before they get hit. So you might have to give up on your intercept plans and go to the opposite side of the map to warn a city which is about to get hit by a tornado. Let's just turn right. See if wind speed starts increasing or decreasing. Yeah, so the reason the colouring's a bit weird as well is for the materials in the game, they have a property, a smoothness property. And for something like a road, if it defaults to something that's a bit too smooth for a road surface, so it starts reflecting to the ambient light in the scene and it doesn't look right. So I'll get that fixed as well. Fix road materials. Let's say I've moved through a different part of the map, so it might start being a bit narrow in on it. It looks like it might be something to our left there. I'm not sure if it's just the road getting blurred or if that's some pixels further. The radar's just picking up the edge of the storm. So, next left of this one. No, nothing there. Hello there, just had Benjamin join the chat. Managed to catch a glimpse of our first tornado, but then it roped out. Now we're trying to find where the second one is. This is quite a big map as well, it's 100 square miles, 10 miles by 10 miles. So you do have some of the challenge of real storm chasing in terms of trying to position and get to the location on time. But what I don't want it to be is just a long driving simulator. You may be heading in the wrong direction. I've set the night cycle to be quicker than the day cycle as well, so we won't spend that much time just driving around in the dark. 90 minutes left to get 2 intercepts, which should be possible. Difficult, but it's possible. Let's just stop here and see if we can pick anything up on the radar. Oh, we're right in the middle of a cell. Okay, let's stay here. We're likely to see something once the tornado starts to spread. Get out of the truck. Starter, that's a good sign. It means we're in the proximity of some weather. See how pixelated the road is. The wind's picking up. These are all good signs. Just keep our eyes peeled. We're going to have to use the lightning flashes to so you can see the outline of anything. Don't know how hard it is to tell. I need to make my mic louder or the rain quieter. Let's just bump the desktop audio down a touch and me up. Hopefully, let me know if that's so we can see where the tornado is. I've turned the sound effects down. Let me know if it still needs to be pushed down a bit more. I think we're in the right area. Be close to the tornado. I'm just trying to figure out where it is. Quite a bit better now. Okay, thank you. That is okay, there's a strong tornado somewhere nearby. See anything. So it's 4 AM in game time. Nighttime passes a bit quicker than daytime, so we're passing a minute, 2 minutes every second roughly. Looks like everything's died off. We'll head the other way. It's behind us. 14 minutes left to intercept. Oh, wind speed's picking up again. I think we're heading in the right direction. Do you see the possibility of this game having multiplayer in the future? Yes, definitely. That's the goal. I wanted to get a solid single player experience first, and the next step will be multiplayer. Done like programming like WebSockets and servers and things like that to transmit information, but never a multiplayer game, so it'll be something new, but I'm sure I can do it. I think we're starting to get towards sunrise now, so I've changed things up a bit so that you can see tornadoes from, I think it's about 4 or 5 kilometers away, and so you don't have to rely on just your radar. To our left. Or is that just I can't tell if that's a tornado or just a gap in the clouds. Whatever it is, we're heading in the right direction. I can't see any motion in it, which makes me think that's not a tornado. What time is it? 7 what happened to Storm Chasers? I've got no idea. That's a real shame. I really like that game. Part of the reason I started making this is it just looked like nothing's going to happen with Storm Chasers. Even before I started working on this game, I offered a developer offering to show him how he can create like volumetric tornadoes, ray-march tornadoes, as well as some other things to help with the game, and I just got no response back, which isn't usually the case. He used to be very good at responding and staying engaged with the community, so I don't know what's happened. I don't know if he's got tired of the game, burned out, issues in personal life or whatever. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him. I think I heard rumours on the Discord that a few months ago he might have liked a tweet, but that's as much as I know. I haven't been able to find it myself. I do have a developer on LinkedIn, but he didn't really seem to use that anyway. If everyone to get here at the daytime, the chase will get a lot easier. Not sure what time the sun rises, but I'm guessing it's somewhere around 9 o'clock. Yeah, it did look like a really good update as well, based on the screenshots that he shared. Like the new damage model things, it looked really good. I was really excited, and it seemed like it was imminent. Like, I think he said a couple of weeks, and then now I think it's been almost a year since then, and just nothing. I guess the idea of this game as well is not really to compete with Outbreak and Storm Chasers. It's just kind of to fill kind of like the niche of kind of like a tornado arcade style game. Because it looks like Outbreak is, well, Storm Chasers is bad, and it looks like Outbreak is set to be more of a simulation with it using real weather models and things. So the idea of this is that it's just going to be a fun game to play. So if you just have 30 minutes to have a quick chase, you can. You don't have to worry about waiting ages to see a tornado, even though I guess this isn't the best example since I spent a lot of time driving around. So maybe one thing I need to work on next is maybe having 2 or 3 tornadoes on the map at the same time. Though that will take some reworking of the code and the logic of the game. But in all my personal tests that I've done before this stream, it's been quite easy to find the tornadoes. It all seems to be when you go to demo it that you get the issues. 7 miles. Update. Yeah, I'm heading the wrong way. Find the tornadoes one part of the challenge, then the other part is actually intercepting successfully without having your contract terminated and without crashing or anything. Is it? Okay, I think I just need to keep driving forward. Should be somewhere on the right. You're going to add Twister references into the world. I see the Jeep J10 is the vehicle you're using. Yeah, that's the vehicle I'm using it unofficially. I want to avoid calling it a Jeep, just in case, for whatever reason, this game's successful and then Jeep decide to sue me and say the game was successful. But yeah, there's going to be Twister references. So this whole map is based on the filming locations for Twister. This is where the Hailstorm Hill location is. There's also, I do have a Dodge Ram model, but I've put so much work into the Jeep that I've kind of neglected the Ram, so it's not really ready to demo just yet. I'll do that. The plan is, once everything releases, then I can then release individual maps. So the next one will be where the ditch scene was. So if I was to have a ditch, a tractor on top of a wooden bridge, and just some other things there. But yeah, I'm going to put some subtle Twister references in, but not make it too obvious, because I want to try and keep a distance from Twister, because even though the original was 1996 and probably wouldn't care with the reboot coming up, there might be issues because they'll look to protect their IP. Actually, I'm going to turn right. Here, wind, it doesn't come on. I can't see anything. Got 6 minutes left. Look how this mission might time out. Oh, there it is. Front left. I still need to work on the blending between the funnel of the tornado and the sky. I think before I do that, I'll need to add something like a wall cloud. I need to figure out how to blend the wall cloud into the sky, since I'm using a completely separate asset to render the sky than I've had to create the tornado rendering myself. I've tried a few things which I've shown on the Discord, but then there's always been little issues here using them. Like, they look good from a distance, but then when I get up to close to the tornado, that then starts to cause some issues. Get in front of it here. Okay, there's an issue. When I enable the VHS camera, the tornado disappears. Now, I did fix that. I think I might have accidentally undone something before doing the build. It's been rotating quite quickly as well. Which directions are moving? I think. Is it moving left to right? Maybe being on this road is the best place for it. If I try and get in front. It's painful going this slow, so first thing I'll do is upgrade the car's max speed. You can actually feel the difference between 50 and 60. It's a big difference. Get a good view. Each tornado is procedurally generated as well, so every tornado is different. Look incredible from a distance. Oh, well, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate that. But so much more tornadoes, so glad they look good from a distance. They look better closer up. It's when I start trying to blend it with the sky that I really start to get some issues. We're going to be unlucky and it's going to rope out right before we get in front of it. Maybe not. It does appear to be weakening though, and it's touched down and it's been on the ground for a while. But we are getting near the center of the map, I think. So it's a good place to be because you have a good view. Oh no, I'll need to find. It's roping out. So what I'm going to do is work my way back to the centre of the map, and that's a good place to try and just spy around. You can see quite far, so I need to add like some sort of direction or compass in the game because it's getting a bit confusing figuring out where I am. If I keep driving forwards, I should get to another road. Okay, let's off-road for a little bit until I can figure out which direction to go. Something which was happening on the early streams was the car was rolling over. It turns out I had to simulate an anti-roll bar to get it to be stable. we get to the top of a hill, yeah, it might actually be a good place to kind of just look out over the landscape. Am I heading in the right direction? I'll update between where I was and where I am, and then I'll know which direction I'm moving and then which way I need to go. Okay, I think I need to go slightly left. I should see a road, and then I need to turn left. Despite being the developer, I still don't know my way around this map. I want to get at least one good intercept. So I've tried to balance the game. So balancing the game is difficult. Okay, there's a road there. It's difficult to start off with, so each successful intercept is rewarding and you can upgrade your equipment. But as you upgrade your equipment, the next upgrade will be more expensive, but you'll also be able to have access to missions that pay more. So there's always going to be some stretch goal to aim for with each successful intercept. How that plays out, I'm not sure. That's why we do play testing, to make sure it's actually fun to play. And I will probably do a limited, closed, sort of beta testing type thing before I submit this to the Steam store. So I've paid the fee. I'm in the process of getting the page set up. One of the things I do need to do is record a lot of footage to create like a gameplay trailer. So that's one of the things I'll be doing. Having these live streams is helpful because I can reuse them. Okay, I think I just need to just keep driving forwards, and look, we're already in the vicinity of the tornado. I'm really disappointed that the raindrop on the windshield effects isn't working though. It looked really nice. It worked in the editor, but for some reason it hasn't worked in the build. I do remember the developer saying I needed to add tweak a few things in the settings before doing the build, and I forgot to do that because I was in a hurry to start the stream tonight. So maybe for the next stream, or if you're on the Discord, you'll see updates there. Discord links in the description for people who want to join and follow. You notice I've taken the distance off because I felt having wind speed and distance made it too easy to find the tornadoes. So the idea is to use measurement, because in real life you don't just really have a device which gives you a readout to your nearest tornado, but you can measure wind speed in real life, and you can have some sort of basic GPS of baseness in the 90s. So I've tried to keep some degree of realism while still not making it so realistic that it becomes difficult and boring to play. Getting closer. Either we're getting closer or it's getting stronger, and we're still the same distance from it. Okay, you're about to hear the timeout. Let's see if the timeout...
Mission failure. Contract expired.
Okay, let's get a new contract then. I'm going to go for F1 ratings. No, these are all F2 or above, so let's just wait. Let's get closer to the tornado and wait for a good mission to come up. Swivel. What time is it? 1 PM, so we've still got plenty of time before dark in the game. No, I can't actually quite remember what latitude the game's set to. I should probably set it to Iowa, Oklahoma. Oh, there's also another subtle Twister reference in here, but you'll only see it if I successfully complete a mission, so hopefully we can do that. Let's have a look at the radar, see if we can get any clues. Okay, I need to just keep heading north-ish. So, I'm going to turn left now. I think there's a right turn over here, and I think we should be able to see the tornado any minute now. Okay, what's the frame rate like? People are watching, what's the frame rate like? Because I'm seeing a preview, and it's looking really jumpy, whereas I feel like I'm getting 40, 50, 60 seconds, and I'm gonna bear in mind this is on a low-end laptop while streaming using 2 screens, so I'm quite happy with the performance compared to some of the streams where I've been getting 4 or 7 frames per second. So just let me know if it's really jumpy. I can change the latency settings, so it'll be, it's decent. Okay, good, thank you. It's useful to know that, just because I don't know if I can trust that preview. I think I need to just keep heading this direction. Barely reaching 10 frames a second on stream. Because I'm getting a nice smooth 60 frames a second on the desktop. So what I could do, or it might be too late now, it might be an issue. I chose a low latency stream just so that there wouldn't be as much of a delay between people writing in the chat and me responding. But if that's causing frame rate issues with the stream, that's not great. Yeah, I think I need to head north. I think. Probably a connection. Yeah, let's blame your internet connection, not mine. Yeah, just in case anybody watches this and thinks, oh, that game's no point getting that, it's the frame rate is optimized. I've actually put a lot of work in optimizing, and I'm getting a nice smooth experience here. Wind speed's going down, which isn't a good sign. Let's turn right and see if it starts to pick up again. One thing somebody suggested on the Discord to do ground scouring, so I came up with a nice plan of how to do that. I tested it out, and it turns out it was permanent. It was permanently overwriting the textures, so even after you end the game, you start again and they're still there. So I couldn't have that, so unfortunately I had to scrap that plan, but I do need to find a way around that. But that's likely going to be an update later on. So one thing I'm learning from this, just from this play test, this is why it's useful to do. I've driven way too long without seeing a tornado, so what I think I do is, instead of placing the tornado randomly on the map, I place it randomly within the vicinity of the player, like say within 1 or 2 miles of the player. So you've still got some driving to do, but you don't have to spend half the time just driving across the map, because nobody really wants to do that. That's another thing, fix rain. Okay, I think I'll go up here and turn right, maybe. Whatever it is, we're heading the same direction as it. Just can't see it. To a crossroads. One thing I need to fix as well is make the roads top of the radar rather than the other way around, because it's making it a bit difficult to navigate. Yeah, I'm going to take the right hand fork here. This really does give me appreciation to how difficult things like, was it Project Vortex things were in reality. Like, tornadoes, the way I've written the game is that there's always a tornado on the map at any time. Whereas obviously in real life that's not the case, so that was a challenging project. Anyone does spot the tornado before I do, just say in the chat. So I'll be waiting for another one to spawn here. A minute. Okay. Well, wait, because it looks like the cell's weakening anyway. Yeah, so another one's about to spawn. So in the meantime, let's choose a new mission. Oh, there we go. 50 samples, F1, 15 minutes to do it in. That's not bad. Let's do that. Best place to... I think we're in an okay spot here. I might take that right turn there. Just so we can position ourselves depending on where we decide to drop a tornado. So whichever tornado that is, I'm not going to waste my time going to the right to the edge of the map because it looks like it's about to rope out anyway. So I'm going to head somewhere somewhat central and try and see if we can get a good intercept. What's the time of the game? 4 PM, so it's getting towards sunset again. But kind of the way the kind of mechanics of the game is, you choose a mission. You've got to get a certain number of samples. You've got to do that without exceeding the maximum wind speed, which you can upgrade. So you can't go over 100 miles an hour, or the contract gets cancelled. And then as you complete the missions, you earn money, you upgrade your equipment, and then you can take on more difficult missions, intercept stronger tornadoes, get closer to the tornadoes, and so on. So the wind speed's picking up again. We've got this junction here, so let's see which direction we should go in next. What's the next big project for this game? So by that I mean the next big feature. The main thing is to get this released on Steam. But the next major set of things I'm working on I want buildings and objects on the side of the road, and they're gonna get ripped apart by the tornado. Oh, it's behind us. It's behind us. Oh, okay. If I ever do start answering a question and get distracted and forget, feel free to ask again. Yeah. So the next thing is models, so like buildings and things throughout which can be damaged. But then you can also, there'll be towns that I'm thinking of maybe putting 9 towns kind of in a 3x3 pattern spaced across the map, and then you can go and and warn them, and depending on whether it gets hit by a tornado and how much warning you give them, you'll either get paid a reward or a small fine or penalty for not successfully. Oh, wait, the tornado's not disappearing now when I'm using the VHS camera, so I don't know what was going on before. So the next thing is really damage, destruction, and the kind of the warning gameplay mechanics, so you can warn towns. So these are the buildings which I was doing some testing with. So that's the tornado there. Can't quite tell which way it's moving. I don't know whether it's worth staying here. So do what you do in real life. Stop, and we'll get a reference point. We'll see which way it's moving relative to that reference point. So it's moving to the right. So what we might need to do is get this out here. We will take shelter in buildings. So you'll be able to enter the buildings. I don't really have any plans to make them of it any sort of real protection though. So we could drive through this. So this is one of the buildings. So you can go inside of them, and then you'll be able to see like the roof and stuff get ripped apart. At least right now it's not going to say, oh, you're in a building, so you can you'll be safe up to this wind speed, but that is something. You want to hide in there? Yeah, it probably will be a mechanic eventually. Somebody suggested having shelters dotted around the map, so if you get yourself into a difficult position, you can take shelter. I might do something like that. Something I'm kind of planning on is, depending on the strength of the tornado, it'll damage different parts of the buildings. Like, all tornadoes can rip off roofs, but only some will rip walls and all the way down to the foundation. Yeah, there it is. One thing I've done as well is the tornadoes can take a curved path, either a left curve or a right curve, and the speed that it curves is different and kind of randomly generated. Oh, the road's going exactly where we need it to. We might be in good position for an intercept here. Platforms this for, and this will be for Windows initially. I'm not planning on doing anything for mobile. Just it's difficult enough to optimize for a low-end desktop or low-end laptop. So for mobile, I just don't think I'll be able to make a gameplay experience that's really worth playing. Let's just take a photo here. Steam, yeah, it's going to be released on Steam. I've already paid the fee and everything. Identity verification and all that. It's just a matter of getting the game in a state where I can get footage and start promoting it on Steam. So Coach Project. Oh, I'm glad. It's make a nice stream thumbnail. It's a shame the trees aren't lit up quite right. But yeah, I was really proud of making the tornado funnel match the sunset colours. Would it be hard to do multi-vortex or satellite tornadoes? No, it wouldn't actually. I've actually already done a multi-vortex. If you look in the description of this video, there's a Discord link if you haven't joined already. What you can do, if you scroll up through the updates, I did show a preview of a multi-vortex tornado. It's possible, but I don't really have a plan for the initial release. Just there's a bit of logistics of getting that to be part of the main gameplay. But yeah, I can do multi-vortex and satellite tornadoes as well. What I'm trying to do is, I did initially have the aim of January for release, and that's obviously not happened now. So I want to get all the core gameplay elements working really well first. Let's get some video here, that's quite cool. And then get it released on Steam. Then once I'm able to get feedback, I can then just rapidly iterate on the game and keep updating it and adding features here and there. So if people have ideas, I think that's a good idea. That'll be a few days' work. Let's do that. So 50. So you see, I need to get it above 73, but without going over 100. Oh, that was close. Okay, let's just deploy it. This is obviously a weak tornado. So what I'm going to do is get out the car and deploy. It's right. I need to get in front of it. Let's get in front of it. Not sure what's happened there. Something's gone weird with the depth buffer. Don't know what's happened. See how it's drone over the top there? That's a glitch I need to fix. Probably just getting out the car. Have to figure out what something's broke there. And I'm not sure what. Yeah, this road looks like a good place to intercept. It's a shame that that's a drawing over the top. I spent an entire week, maybe even 2, fixing that issue of the tornado drawing over the top of the scenery, and now it's started doing it again. So what I may need to do is, if we're not successful with this, quit and then load it up again because I don't know why it suddenly cleared the camera depth buffer and now it's drawn over everything. So I'm going to get ahead of it here and try and deploy. Let's just try and deploy because I don't think it's not letting me exit the car. Okay, so there's some bug there and I'm not sure what's caused it. Right. I'll show the deployment sequence anyway for those who haven't seen it. So just like the real Toto, it's got a tilt sensor, it tilts past a certain angle and then it starts to power up. I don't think we're going to get any good data here, but I'm just going to show the process. So then it'll wait till it reads at least an F1 wind speed and then it'll start recording samples. But it's looking like I may need to quit and restart because something went wrong there. Then what you can do is when you retrieve the probe, so what you've got to do is back your car up so that you're somewhat within the vicinity of the probe. And it'll slide to where it needs to go. And then it'll get loaded back up onto the truck. Took quite a bit of work to get that working smoothly. I'm really annoyed at this depth buffer issue because I spent ages trying to fix that. But I couldn't leave the car either, so it looks like there's some issue with transitioning between the car and first person, which has broken it there. So what I'll do, since I'm not going to lose any progress anyway, I'm just going to quit the game and load it up again, and we'll give it another go. So, depth buffer, what that is for people who are unfamiliar with game development and things like depth buffers, is when you render, so this is another Twister reference here, when you render something in 3D, you need to know the distance between the camera and different objects in the scene, so you know what draws over what. When I render the tornadoes, I need to access that buffer, so that if, for example, there's a house in front of the tornado, that part of the tornado funnel is covered by the house. But if you have issues with it and it gets cleared, then what happens is it just draws over everything and it doesn't look right. So let's choose a mission. I usually go for F1, about 50 samples there. So let's do that. And we'll have a look at the radar, see if we're within the vicinity of anything. And I've lost my chat window here. Come on. Nothing shown on radar just yet, but I think our eyes can see further than the radar right now, so let's just stay and hear lightning and the wind's picking up and it's starting to rain, so that's a good sign, good sign. One thing I need to add, actually, I wasn't planning on this, but it should be an hour's work or so, is a timer. So when you load this, it'll count down, just kind of like if you've ever used like GR Level 3 or anything. It shows you how long you've got to wait until the next update, next radar update. So it's, I forget which way I start the game facing. It's either to our right or to our left. Both of those curve to the left. Okay, I need to head in the direction I'm already going and then turn left. That should get us closer. I'm not going the right way because the wind speed starts picking up. Thunder and lightning will get more intense, rain will get more intense, so let's see if I'm reading my own map correctly here. I'm actually starting to get hungry. I should have brought some snacks up with me before I started this stream. Had quite a heavy dinner as well. Made a chicken lasagna and it was really nice. And I thought, oh, I'm really full. I don't need to worry, I'll be good for the stream. But no, obviously not. Oh yeah, I want to show off at least one successful intercept. I don't think I've managed to get a good intercept on stream yet. To come up here. So one thing I need to do is fix all these roads. So what I'm going to do is create a little script that whenever I see something wrong with the road, I just hit L, and and that'll log the coordinates of where I am, and then when I go back into the editor I can load up all those coordinates and then manually fix all the roads. So you've got 6 concurrent viewers right now. Really appreciate people taking the time to watch this. I know there's probably a lot more entertaining games you could watch, but my goal is to make this fun to play. So one thing I need to figure out is how do we stop having so much dead time just driving around. So I think that thing, make is spawn within the vicinity of the player. Just so there's, I guess in multiplayer, it'll just choose a player at random each time, and that way you can communicate with other people. Oh, is that a tornado or is that a gap in the clouds? No, it's a gap in the clouds. Yeah, the players can communicate, so they say, oh, I've got a tornado a mile to my south, and the people can flock to that location. So hopefully I'm heading in the right direction. I'm going to not recommend it, but drive while not looking at anything but the radar screen. Yes, I need to turn right a bit further down here. So it might be on the other side of that hill. Rain's getting more intense. Wind speed's picking up a bit as well. Oh, there it is. There's a tornado just peeking over that hill there. So I think everything's moving south, if I remember right. Yeah, I think it's heading south. It doesn't need to be too close, so I like anticipation, you've got to find the balance. Yeah, it's exactly game balance. So you'd think that some of the technical things like writing a ray marching shader and all the coding and stuff would be the most difficult. Actually making a game that's fun and actually worth playing and well balanced is much harder, because if you're coding something and you run into issues, it's more than likely somebody else is running into the same issue. If you get an error, you can Google it. Whereas there's not really a set way of creating a fun game. If it was, then studios would just crank out game after game that would be fun. Obviously, there's no real formula for fun, so you've got to rely on instinct and play testing and getting feedback. Yeah, it is difficult getting the game balance right. Like, you've got to make sure the missions are rewarding, but not so rewarding that you end up just breezing through and maxing your equipment out after. And you don't want to go through all this effort to get a successful intercept and think, oh, that was barely worth it. The game's just going to be a grind. So it's finding that sweet spot. I think there's a road which goes right, and that'll take us straight to the tornado. Well, this could potentially become a series on YouTube, though. As I upgrade my equipment, I'll get more intercepts. Take on more complex intercepts as well. So, if you need, say, 200 samples, but your probe's only capable of taking 50 samples at a time, you then have 4 intercepts you've got to get, but it pays more, so it might be worth it. But then you've got to take into consideration the time limit. So the idea of the game is I'm trying to create a lot of, there's not going to be one right way to play it, so you can choose to max out one thing like your car's max speed, or somebody might try to take a more balanced approach and upgrade equipment equally, or someone might want to take easy contracts so they can get guaranteed money, whereas other people might want to take more difficult contracts which they're less likely to be successful, but the reward's massive if they do manage to pull it off. I think this might be heading straight towards us, if not slightly to our left. It's coming down that wind speed. If it ticks up to 12, it means it's coming this way. Yeah, it looks like it's coming this way. The thing I'm worried about is it seems to be along the ground quite slowly. So quite slowly, so it might rope out. So what I could do is do some off-roading, Bill Paxton style. Right, let's just drive head on and try and put ourselves in the path. We want to make it more interesting, put the old VHS effect on, take some photos while I'm driving towards it, might be using for promos. Multiplayer with voice chat would be nice. This is why Subject is so fun. It's a lot of miscommunication. Yeah, I remember actually doing multiplayer and somebody in the chat that said something like southeast when they meant northwest, and everybody went to the complete wrong side of the map. So yeah, things like that are quite sometimes when things go wrong it can be just as fun as when things work out well. Alright, wind speed's picking up. Let's see, is it picking up here? Okay, this is a good place to deploy. I guess in real life you wouldn't deploy on a hill. It's a bit too transparent, isn't it? I think I need to make it a little bit more dense. You know what? I'm not in a good position here. Let's load it back on the truck. Need to get in front of it. Looks like he's moving to the left. Yeah, it's like he's taking a very curved path. Let's try and get ahead of it. 58, 59, 60. I can't exceed 100 miles an hour though, so better keep an eye on that. Okay, we're within F1 wind speeds now. Be in the path of the tornado. It's not going to be worth deploying. Oh, 90. Okay, I think I'm now getting chased a bit by it. I think I'm going to deploy here. It's getting weaker. I think I might just leave the probe there. Even though the wind speed's getting weaker, it's getting much closer to us. Pretty much in the funnel right now. Okay, get back on there. I'm gonna try and get ahead of it again. Oh, is it roping out? Is that the issue? One thing I'm thinking, I think I might need to increase the payments for the mission, because it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be to get a good intercept. It's roped out. Okay, let's try again. So this pays, how much does this pay if we get it? $300. Which means we could upgrade the either the refresh rate, but I think I'll save up to increase the top speed. Okay, we're getting on to sunset again. So I want to try and find a road before the sun goes completely down, otherwise it's going to be a bit difficult to navigate. Oh wow, this looks insane. Hopefully that's the good type of insane. Like, this looks insane. It's not like, oh wow, like, this looks insane. What's this developer doing? What about F-Zeros? I didn't bother with F-Zeros because I just find them boring. I can't give a better or more scientific or more nuanced reason than that. So F-Zero, that sounds a bit boring. Who cares about an F-Zero? F1's don't do much. The good type of insane, that's good. Appreciate that feedback. Excuse me. Right, where's the road? because sometimes you can't always read the tone properly when somebody writes a message via text. Sometimes you can misinterpret it. So I didn't want to be like, oh wow, this person really likes my game, where they're actually just calling me nuts. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate the good feedback. Right, I think I'm heading towards the edge of the map, and the last thing I want to do is drive off the edge of the map, because I haven't set any borders, so you can't just drive off and then just fall into oblivion. Let's try and get this valley. Just driving in a valley is quite difficult, you can't see anything. One thing I'm going to add as well is I got a royalty-free lion roar sound effect. I love the 90s to set it up. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to. I really wanted to make that part of the game. Just growing up, I grew up in the 90s, and all the tornado footage and everything that I watched was all VHS and blurry. It was none of the high-def stuff that we have now, which is great, but I just want to create that nostalgic feel. I started off inspired by Twister in the 90s, and I thought, you know what, let's try and keep that aesthetic. So I appreciate the fact that you like it. And will there be detailed radar in the near future? So there's detailed radar now. You've just got to earn the money to upgrade your radar. So you can have it in near real time, where it updates, I think, like 10 times a second. Pixels are, I think it's 2x2. You can even get full res radar. I can't remember what I set the maximum to. So it's in the game. It's just to get it working. But I could upgrade the resolution now. Need the upgrade system in process. A little bit dodging these trees. Oh, I forgot. Got headlights. That makes things easier. I forgot about that. One thing I want to do, actually, I can't remember if I did this, is I haven't added the lights to the light bar on the top there. I'll do that. I think I need to add a compass to this, because it's making things more difficult than they really need to be. I don't know which direction I'm facing. Just northeast, southwest. Or northeast. So, maybe 8, 12, all directions. I love suggestions. I keep note from the Discord. I try and implement what I can. That isn't random. No, it's not randomly generated. At least not right now. Oh yeah, but one thing I was going to say. So I've got a royalty-free lion roar sound effect. Which I think I might make it the tornado player effect. It kind of sounds like Twister. Effects using Twister, but only for F5 tornadoes. Beast. Just make it drive for Twister. Ah, yeah, I like that idea. I actually like that idea. Obviously, I wouldn't put any movies playing. Like, I'd love to put like a image of like The Shining or something on, but there's probably going to be copyright issues with doing that. Yeah, I think what would be a good map to put that on? Maybe this map actually, because the drive-in scene is right after the Hailstorm Hill scene, and that's what this map is right now. It's based around Boone, Iowa. I don't know which direction to go. Am I been heading in the right direction? Okay, I think I need to. Alright, Dad. No, I'm not getting any radar echoes yet. Yeah, I could probably get it with Galaxy Dragon. Is that a real company or not? I'm guessing it's a fictional one for the movie. There's actually, if you go on the, what's the website called? Getty Images, I think it is. If you find some of the Warner Brothers clips, you can actually see clips which were cut from Twister, with the Galaxy, like the building. It must have got cut for whatever reason. It's on the bunch of deleted footage from Twister. I just feel like that was already done in Storm Chasers, and it kind of limits, like, they're no longer searching for the tornado, it's just here, drive into the middle of the woods and wait for the tornado, so it's getting the balance right between having to hunt out the tornadoes and driving around aimlessly like I'm doing now. That line is getting really intense. It's like a strong tornado on the ground. I guess the idea is to make it difficult at first, so when you upgrade your equipment, you're kind of finding the tornadoes yourself. Maybe I just need to start with a bit wider range. I think 2 kilometers is a bit too short. It's not. Maybe I'll start at 3 kilometers. So you've got some chance of finding. Because once you find the cell, you're likely within viewing distance of the tornado. Okay, I think I'm heading the right direction. So I'm getting some Discord messages. Oh, cool. Thank you. I just got your message on Discord. Appreciate that. You know who you are because you've just sent the message in the last few seconds or so. Might be a minute delayed or so. I'm not sure how delayed the stream is. Where I make the tornado closer to the player, just so we don't have to spend so much time driving around. But I'll probably have to be ending the stream here in about 15 minutes. So I think I'd rather be playing the game than people just watching me use the editor. Yeah, look at them. The clouds light up with the lightning. That was part of the asset which I used. I've had to rely on, like, my expertise is really in coding and like the technical side. In terms of visuals, I'm not. That's not the strongest skill. So I've used weather asset for those effects. Oh, the wind speed's picking up quickly. Must be near a tornado. So what's great is that comes essentially pre-packaged with the asset that I bought. Obviously, I have to be out of pocket to make up for my lack of skill in other places. But I guess the idea is to create a good game. The time to ask how much will this cost, because this game's going on my payment history. I haven't decided on official price yet. It's difficult because there's Outbreak is in early access, and Storm Chasers I think it's about £10 or £11 sterling. And I don't know how to price it relative to Storm Chasers because I feel like I've got an advantage in some aspects of it in terms of the size of the map. Oh, there's a tornado there. In terms of the size of the map, the quality of the tornado rendering, and the gameplay mechanics are different. So I feel like should I price it more than Storm Chasers? But then it's early access, so I don't want to charge more than what I'm delivering. My whole what's the word? Like philosophy is about making sure you do the give the value for money that you're asking for, providing the best value and best experience as you can. The idea is not to do it like our storm chasing games might be popular. Let's just make something with minimum effort, charge enough money. $60, yeah, it's not going to be $60. Can't you get Microsoft Flight Simulator for $60 or thereabouts? There's no way this is Microsoft Flight Simulator quality. I'm thinking this is just a range. I'm thinking in terms of a price range, somewhere in the £10 to £20 range potentially. But it really depends. I'll have to see how people react to the pricing. So if I set it too high and I'm not making any sales, obviously I'd have to bring the price down. Or if people are buying it and refunding it because I don't feel like they're getting the value for money, obviously I wouldn't want that to be the case. But obviously you just need to listen to the feedback and essentially what the community and the market to tell you. Where's this tornado? Oh, there it is. So we're on the dark side of the tornado, so you can just about see the left edge of it there. And the tornado siren sound effect I wanted to use is that it's like a really creepy one from like Chicago, I think, where like the tones are purposefully dissonant and it sounds horrendous. But I just imagine in the game, you pull into a town and you know there's a tornado approaching, and you hear that siren, and then like you hear the wind picking up and like that growl of the almost like the beast-like nature of the tornado. I want to try and create like some of a scary atmosphere. I'm struggling to keep up with this thing. Make it all 90s like. Yeah, wind speed's picking up. Yeah, so the minimum wind speed I need to record is 73 miles an hour. That's the lowest limit for an F1. You can ignore that road there and just plough straight towards this tornado. Based on the size of this tornado and how strong the winds are from the system, I'm going to guess this is an F4 or F5. One thing I'm thinking of possibly adding is a death mechanic to the game. So I think with the physics in Unity you can detect how hard collisions are. So if a collision is more than a certain amount, your character dies. But I think making it so that it resets the entire game would be way too harsh. So I think what I would do is choose one of your upgrades at random and downgrade it to the previous level. So this you've kind of got that intensity of not wanting your character to die. You can't just plough into an F5 and have it be consequence free. You need to fix that so the clouds are rendering through the tornado behind. That's because I haven't set the density of the funnel strong enough. It's a scale from 0 to 1. It looks like it's made out of brick essentially. So I think I just need to bump that up a little bit so that doesn't happen. It's 1998. I think it's heading towards the road. I've got 4 minutes left as well to get 50 samples. It's doable, but it is starting to get tight. This thing must be moving because I'm doing 50 miles an hour here and I'm struggling to keep up. I think there's a road on the right coming up. I think. Let's put the radar screen. Oh, cool. I appreciate that because any money I do get from things like the Dorothy software or from selling this game, I'm looking to reinvest into the game. So it's really useful. I've already spent, not going to give exact amount, but a fair amount of my own money on assets to develop the game. So anything just to offset that cost is massively appreciated. Look at that. This is, see if it blended in with the sky, just make a lovely thumbnail to promote the game. Yeah, there's actually been some updates since those last videos. I can't remember what the word, I just remember that I updated it. So I'll send you the link and everything with the latest version. 3. I guess now is maybe an F4 strength, but it could be F5. I'm just taking random photos. What are the tornado physics like? So I have read a paper and I've implemented it. It's actually in the Dorothy software when you open lab mode. There's a paper explaining how the wind speeds change around the tornado funnel as you get closer or further away. So it models 3 different types of wind. So one is the vertical wind, so the wind is actually lifting you up. The other, I'm trying to remember the terms, I think it was differential, so it's the wind is actually spinning around the tornado. And you've got radial speed, which is the wind you straight towards the tornado. And I'm thinking of using those for destruction in the game. And then what I do is essentially, when it interacts with a model in the game, I calculate what the different forces are on the object. I apply them, then I just let the Unity engine figure it out. Okay, I feel like you're gonna have to stop in the next 5 minutes or so. So let's see if we can get this one good intercept, because this is a good looking tornado. Please don't be roping out. I think the tornado's dying. Yeah, the physics, I've tried to make them somewhat realistic, so the debris will swirl around the funnel and stuff depending on how heavy or light it is. The destruction and the physics are kind of my next to-do thing. I can finish the main menu. I've got my list of things to fix here, actually. Yes, I think destruction's gonna be the next thing, as well as fixing those few bugs which I had. I'm not sure what caused them. Oh, it's roping out. Let's get out to watch the tornado rope out. I think I'll have to end the stream with this. So, unfortunately, I didn't get a decent intercept. What I'll do is I'll tweak the end spawning logic so that it's always within, say, 1 or 2 miles of the player, and that way, with the next stream, which I may do tomorrow night or the night after, we'll have more opportunities for intercepts, and that's perfect timing as well. The tornadoes.
Contract expired.
The contract expired right when the tornadoes roped out as well. So haven't been able to have a good intercept so far. So one of the things with the game balance, so I've played. How long have I been streaming for? An hour and a half without a successful intercept. That's telling me the game's too hard. So the tornadoes either need to be closer to the player, needs to be more tornadoes, or maybe the car needs to be a little bit faster, or the radar a little bit further range. So what I'm going to do is tweak those settings a bit and get ready for another stream in the next couple of days. But I really appreciate everybody who's joined the chat, give feedback, suggestions. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to sign off now because I am in the UK, so it's getting on to 10:30 and I've got to be up quite early tomorrow. So I'll post another, if you subscribe, if you haven't already, you'll get a notification when I do the next stream, and hopefully it'll be more exciting and more intense than this one has been. Right, I'm going to have to sign off now. Thanks for watching.